Hey, welcome. It's Captain Matt, Boater Secret Weapon. I want to thank you for joining us for this Sunday night live. We're getting ready to start here in just a couple of minutes here. We'll start about 8:30, but I wanted to welcome you. If you've never been to a live, here's what you can expect. Just go ahead and chat in your comment section, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on YouTube. Just ask your question, leave your comment there, and then as we go through the time, I just kind of scroll down all the comments and I try to answer them. Now, if it's something that I need to ask you a question, I may ask you a question and just put it in the chat again, and I'll come back and I'll get that information so I can give you a more personalized response, something that's going to really add value for you. This is just something I do. One, it's great fun. I really enjoy it. It's helpful for the community, just sharing my knowledge. Now, one thing that you need to know, I don't know everything about boats. I know a lot about boats. I've been a boater since I was 5. I've sold boats. It's something that is a big part of my life. With that said, I don't know everything. Matter of fact, sailboats, have zero experience with sailboats. Bass boats, very little experience there. Bow riders, deck boats, center consoles, jet boats, twin engines, stern drives, outboards, inboards, all of that I have experience with. And if I have an answer, I'll give you my best answer. If I don't have an answer, I'll try to give you a resource that will be valuable for you. If I have an opinion, I'll try to give you that opinion, but let you know this is what I think, not what I absolutely know. So I look forward to it. Here's a little video intro that a subscriber made for me. Thanks, Bo. And we'll see you on the live when it kicks off here in just a moment. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. I wanted to start by showing this. This is a video that I just saw as I was preparing. And as you likely know, that makes me cringe. But I wanted to start, wish everybody a happy Memorial Day. And I wanted to ask this question for anybody that got out on the water today. Jason, 211, it rained. It's been raining here since Friday afternoon, maybe even Friday morning. So we've been just rain, gloomy, not cold, but cool all day. And it's looking the same for tomorrow. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and that's what's in store for tomorrow for us as well. But when I saw that video, it made me think, what did you see on this Memorial Day weekend? If you did hit the water, what did you experience? Maybe you're a new boater yourself and you experienced something that you have questions on. So I figured that would be a good way to start today. And I saw that video. And for those of you that are new here, let me tell you what happens when you sit up there on your pontoon or your deck boat and you're just cruising away, having a good time, enjoying the water splashing on your feet. This is from Wavy Boats. Is one of those feet catch, or a bigger wave comes than you're expecting, and somebody gets off balance, leaning a little bit too far forward. It's usually kids or somebody that's been drinking, and they're going to fall in the water on a pontoon. If you fall in between those tubes, there's only one place to go, and that's right back to the propeller. On this boat, with the way that hull is designed, if you fall off on one of these outside spots, you might be okay, but you're going to get hit in the head. If you fall in the middle on a deck boat, again, it's just gonna funnel you right to the propeller. And it's a dangerous situation. So, hey, if you're new to boating, you don't realize that, you don't think about it. You think, oh, it's fun, the kids are having a great time. But just be careful. Boating is an awesome activity. It is, I think, one of the best ways to spend time with your family and friends. It is fraught with dangers and easy mistakes if you don't know what you're doing. Not running your blower, not having the proper safety equipment on board if there's a fire. Fiberglass boats are made out of a petroleum product, and they will go up awfully quick. You're around the water, which is, if somebody's not a strong swimmer, they get a cramp, it's cold, a number of things can happen, and they go under. Guess what? If you don't see them go under, you're going to have a hard time finding them in virtually any water. So just, you got to be careful. You got to be safe. You got to know these types of things. It's why we offer a lot of the information that we do, specifically the Boater Boot Camp. We talk about a lot of safety stuff in there, just on the channel, and educate yourself, for sure. So, all right. So I wanted to start with that, because if there's anything that new boaters have, throw it out there, and we will begin with our usual. Would love to hear about anybody's boating outing, what you guys all did. Hope everyone is enjoying the holiday weekend. Yes, for sure. Remember, Corey, exactly right. The reason for Memorial Day. Yes, it's a fun boating weekend. Yes, it is. It is an extra day of vacation, and yet it is also, for the sacrifices that the ultimate sacrifice that people have made, so that we can go out and enjoy and do whatever it is that we choose to do. If you're in the military, thank you for your service. You put yourself on the line, and your family sacrificed a bunch as well. So, Kings in the City, welcome back. Good to have you. Brock, good to have you. Yeah, 211. I looked at the radar all around the country, and I was trying to decide if I was going to do the live tonight. And I was like, man, it looks like there's pockets of rain popping up all over the place. Looks like Brock had the same down in Charleston. Yeah, just when I was in college, my freshman year of college, that summer, I ended up staying. Went to University of Nebraska, and I saw an ad. I was trying to decide, am I going to go back home to Omaha where I grew up, and work the job that I worked in summer, or was I going to find a job that I could work and stay in Lincoln? Well, I was dating a girl, and so I started looking for jobs, and I ended up working at a marina. I was the gas guy, the bait shop guy, this cashier, whatever needed to be done. We put the docks in, and to start the season, a couple weeks, in probably April, when the ice was out there, and pulled the docks out at the end of the season. And I think it was probably September, late, maybe early October. But I remember him saying, if we have a rainy Memorial Day, 4th of July, or Labor Day, then we lose money. Like any one of those three, if they're not a nice day, we lose money in this business. If all three of those weekends are nice weekends, we kill it. But those 3 weekends, we'll go three. That's easier to see. Those 3 weekends make or break a lot of small marinas that are on the water, and I'm sure it's still today. So hate to see that. And yeah, organizing the garage, building some shelves. That was exactly the type of thing here. I took my girls to the Y. I worked out. They worked on the treadmill, and did the stair climber, and they had a good time. We played some board games, some cards over the last couple of days, but there was no sun, and there was no water. There was no water to be had. So, Diablo Reaper, welcome. Good to have you. Jerry, beautiful weekend in Chesapeake. Midshipman graduated from the Naval Academy on Friday. Congratulations. Very awesome. Took him out Saturday on the Chesapeake. There you go. That's the way to celebrate graduating from the Naval Academy. Very cool. Tell him congratulations. Excellent weather in PA. All right. So up northeast, you guys had some good weather. Let's see. Thoughts on the O2 Crown Line 202 with 370 hours. Looking at buying my father a boat. Yeah, it is. So, couple of things is I can't talk about the condition of the boat, right? So that boat is, what is that, 20 years old, 21 years old. 370 hours is super low for a boat that old. If you do the math, you're what, 16, 15, 16, 17 hours per year. So couple of things that I would want to know is, one, when were those hours put on? Like, how many hours have you put on in the last 5 years, in the last 2 years of that boat? So did they put them a bunch on and then the boat sat for a long time? Not great. You got to be extra cautious on seals drying up, hoses, belts, that kind of thing. Or did they put 30 hours a year on it and they just, they just used it a little bit every year, been pretty consistent? Nah, I'm good with that. Crown Line as a brand is a good quality brand during those years. My family owned Crown Lines during that year. Crown Line went out of business and went out of business in 2008, 2009, something like that, and didn't build boats for a year. The employees bought the company. Several of the executives raised funds, bought the company out of bankruptcy, bought the molds, bought the facilities, bought the brand, essentially hired everybody back that was building them. They made some changes through the years, but Kevin something, Rhyme, something like that. It was the general manager, and then he is now the CEO. But the executive team pretty much stayed together, and they built very, very similar boats. Good, solid mid tier. I liked them. We had a 222 that was probably, let's see, we got that when I was working at the marina. We bought it because we had a Thompson, an 18-foot Thompson, that my parents either really, really trusted us, my brother and I, or were too trusting. And I don't know what it was, but they let me keep that boat at the marina and gave my brother, who's 2 years older than me, gave us free range to run that boat all season. With the caveat that we had to take care of it. We had to put the gas in it. And if we broke something, we fixed it. But we had a great summer that year. And July, we traded in the Thompson, the 18-foot Thompson, and moved up to the 222 Crown Line bow rider with the 5.7 liter. That boat screamed. That boat would run 57, 60. You could get close to 60, not quite. If you were by yourself, trim that baby up, the rev limiter would hit. And but it was a great boat, nice and solid, well built. And then my brother had a 266, had two 266s, but one was a saltwater 266 that he got out of Florida, and that one had all sorts of issues. The second one they got was a freshwater boat and was awesome. That one was probably a 06-ish, maybe something like that. So you're in Iowa. I grew up in Nebraska. We ran it down at the Lake of the Ozarks a bunch in Missouri. And so as long as the one you're looking at is in good condition, that's the biggest thing. Make sure you do your test drive. If you haven't, get that free toolkit. You can get it at boatbuyerstoolkit.com. And it'll walk you through how to demo a boat, how to inspect a boat, questions to ask the seller if you're buying it from a dealer or buying it from a private individual. All of that information is in there. And, all that stuff checks out. You do a good solid demo ride for 20-30 minutes, put that boat through its paces, run some wide open throttle, run it out of the hole a couple of times, see what you got. Don't just go out and run it for 5 minutes and say, oh, this is awesome. Take your time, run it through all of that checklist, and put some time on that boat, because sometimes that extra, the boat gets fully warmed up, fluids have gone through. Now we can find some of those leaks that maybe we wouldn't have noticed, or some of the other issues that come with bouncing it around and banging it around, that you can find on those older boats. So a few hours at anchor in a river cove where we had gorgeous afternoon on the Regal. First time we used the bow pad. That's awesome. So for those that don't know, Jerry's got a 28-foot Regal cruiser. And he just, I want to say, just put the bow pad on this year. I want to say it's a 2021. I'm not sure if that's right or not. Regal 28 Express. And for those of you that don't know what that boat looks like, it is a beautiful cabin cruiser, express cruiser. So it's got this back here where this porthole is. There's actually a sleeping compartment, that aft berth that runs the full beam, V berth up front, kitchen, galley, microwave, sink, that kind of stuff over on the port side, I believe, on this one. And just an awesome boat. And let's see if they've got. No, I don't know why they don't have a picture of the bow. There we go. But they make a bow pad that you can either snap in. I'm not sure how they do it, if it snaps or if it's got a slider in here and then just snaps up at the front and has the cutout for the port light there, but or the hatch there that actually pops up. And an awesome place to, when you've got a nice anchorage, it's a great place to just lay out and relax, especially if the weather's nice. So that little jealous, Jerry, little jealous on that one. So hopefully, Diablo, that is helpful. And on that, and let's see here. What's your opinion about the quality of cruiser boats? See them some. Don't know much about. I don't know. I don't recognize that brand. If you're saying cruiser yachts, and that was just a misspelling, Curiswr. Yeah, I'm assuming you're saying. I'm assuming that Jerry, you're saying cruiser yachts, cruisers, yachts. So they are, Marine Max just bought them 3-4 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. When Sea Ray shut down their Sundancer, what is it, 2039 and below, they shut down that facility out of Knoxville, and they only run or I'm sorry, other way around. They shut down 39 and above in their Merritt Island, Marco Island facility in Florida, and they kept the Knoxville facility that makes the 240 up to the 380 or 390. I don't know what they're calling it. Maybe even the 370 now. And they just went to that express cruiser market. But the big yachts and sport yachts, they are not making anymore. When that happened, that was Marine Max's move up boat. So they had all the entry level stuff. Well, not even entry level. They had premium smaller boats. They had the Sea Ray Sundancer, which covered from 24 to 60 feet. And then they had some yacht lines that took them from 60 and up. Well, when Sea Ray cut out that 38, 39 to 60, they had a huge gap in their lineup, which means that Marine Max's business model is designed to take you as a new boater and move you up. And so 100% of people buy the new boat or used boat, they get started. And then, let's say 60% move up to the next bigger. Of that 60%, 50% of those move up to the next one. And so it's like a pyramid, and they always need to put new in, and they always need to have that next line. And now they're getting into big boats because they've been in business for 20 plus years. So they bought cruisers, yachts, when that, like a year after that happened, within that year. They are, I would they've gotten better. I'll say that. They were, I would say, lower than Sea Ray, lower than Regal, maybe around the lines of the Crown Line cruisers. I think Crown Line did a great job with the bow rider. I don't think they really ever figured out the cruisers market. That's why there's not many people in that market. They have Cruisers Yachts has stepped up their game over the years. Um, but I also believe there's nicer boats in those categories. So let's see what size they've got. And they're doing a lot of these express cruisers now that have the open bow, and then they've got the cabin, the midship cabin. And I inspected one of those down at Lake Lanier at the boat show. Um, yeah, you can see 42, 38, 38, 34. Okay. So 34 is their smallest of those in the GL series, and the Cantia series are their cruiser. 54, 39. Yeah. So 39 is their smallest cruiser. That exact lineup that they lost from Sea Ray, that's where they chose to stay, 39 to 60. I would say they're nice. They're expensive. Are they the best built in that category? By not even close. Not even close. There's a lot of nicer. I put Regal up above them as well. But they have nice appointments. They've improved a lot since Marine Max has taken them over, because Marine Max is catering to more of a premium level audience because of their plan to just keep taking people up the level. Freshwater boaters, let's get them into a liveaboard, or let's give them into a condo on the water that they can have down in South Florida or in California, on the Gulf Coast. So that's their move. So they've got to have quality boats, otherwise you won't come back to their brands. And as you get higher up in that food chain, once you're spending $500,000 to $1 million on a yacht, there's certain expectations that if they're not met, you won't get that next move up from the 60 fly to the 68 to the 80, to the Adsmiths and the other brands that they have. So, but they've been around they've been around for a long time. Um, I don't know when. Let's see if they'll say about. Yeah, but I'm gonna say they've been around for 20 years, maybe. Maybe that's a little on the higher side. But looking at this logo here, yeah, they've been around for a lot longer than that. That's a 70s style logo right there, on the cruiser's yacht. So um, that Jerry, that tells me that in the back of your mind, you've got a move up in your future. Asking that question, looking at those, um, that that definitely tells me you've got the itch. You got the itch starting to get you. Savvy, good to have you. Always wondered why boat life is measured in hours. When did this begin? Um, because don't miles are different than hours. You can spend the day trolling, for especially on outboards. If you're offshore and you troll for 5 hours, you may only go, and how do you tell? There's a couple things. So you may only go 2 miles, but if you're running at 5,000 RPM for 5 hours, well, now you've just run 400 miles, 500 miles maybe. That's number one. Two is you've got current. So if you're in a river, if you're in the intercoastal, or you're in a heavy current, or even wind, that engine may be running shorter distance. Like, you've got distance across the water, and then you've got the total distance traveled, right? Because if the current's going, you may have gone a certain distance against that current. But if you were to take that away, you would have gone a third longer or something like that. So the hours it makes more sense the way boats operate. The other thing that's interesting is, pay attention to this. I don't know that they do it anymore. But on some of the older boats, it's not even engine hours. The the hour meter was hardwired to the ignition key. And so there would be times when you left your ignition key on, clicked over, the boat was off, the motor's not running, but your hour meter is click clacking away. And so there was a lot of times when you'd have a used boat that had just a huge number of hours because they left that key on, and it just continued to dial up hours, even though the engine wasn't on. Now that they've got computers on the engine, that you can pull it directly from the engine, and that hour meter is probably close. But when you pull it from the actual engine itself, not only do you get, and I had one of these, I don't know if I'd be able to find it or not, but you would actually get not just the hours, but when you pull it from the ECM on the computer, you get RPM ranges. So let's say you have 100 hours, just to make the easy math, from 0 to 1200 RPM, you might have 30 hours. From 1200 to 2500. I don't remember what the bands are off the top of my head, but a majority of the hours are in the bottom two bands. That's like 80-90% of the hours on most boats. And the higher bands are very little, which will tell you how the boat was run. Were they out there trolling most of the time? Or did they, were they out there, running wide open throttle for, 30% of the engine's life? And that's a lot. You'll find it's usually under 10%, well under 10%. Bass Boat's going home to its new owner this upcoming weekend. One of the guys in my club had some major issues. Uh-oh. So let's see. I don't really know what I'm going to replace it with yet. Probably going to be stealing my dad's boat for a while. That's what I was wondering what the answer to that question was going to be, because I know I'm not going to fish. I had one of the technicians that I worked with when I sold boats on Lake Wiley. He actually won. I don't remember what the brand of it was. Um, he won a bass boat in one of the tournaments with a 150 Merc 4-stroke, and that's the boat he still runs to this day. That was over 10 years ago. As a matter of fact, I saw him the other day on the water. But yeah, that's those offers you can't refuse are tough. Who just did that? Bo. If I don't know if Bo's on here or not, but Bo just had that same thing happen with his Bayliner. Is he got it all running and ready to go, and somebody made him an offer, and now he's boatless, unless he's found something in the meantime. Awesome. Really appreciate the information. Definitely look into the toolkit. Yeah, just go grab that for free, and you're very welcome, Diablo Reaper. Good to have you. Good to have you. Yeah, that's right, Ray. You were. I remember you saying that before. Uh, yes, 100%, 100%. The reason for the day, and my dad was in the reserves, and his unit was called up at the end of the war, and he was getting ready to ship out the next day, when they came to their truce or their treaty, and they stopped calling up the reserves. But he was packed and ready to go that next day, and fortunately didn't have to go. That was, oh, um yeah. So um can't even imagine having to be a young kid and taking over there, and that being your 18 to 25 year um memories compared to what I was fortunate to live, in my world. So um boat day 2 of 3 complete. One more great day tomorrow, down here in the Bass Boats, Alabama, Georgia, um, are in the Bay. Great times. Yeah, that is, um, a good day. Good day. You know what, Diablo Reaper, it will not let you put a link in. My system. Let me see if I can bypass that. You're on YouTube. I don't know. I'm going to hope this doesn't reverb on me here. I'm going to see if I can get into the. All right. So if I pause that and I look at, I don't know if that's legal, but I just gave myself a thumbs up. Let's see here. Silver Strangers. Yes. Oh man, I can see I'm way behind here. Yeah, it doesn't give you the link in YouTube either. I thought it protected that. We get all sorts of weird things happening in the chat rooms. Okay, yeah, cruiser yachts. That is, and Corey, you are exactly right. It was be in that same level. That's probably a pretty good comparison. Hey, Silver Stranger, good to have you. Hopefully you got out on the water today. We were just talking about the weather, and in the Carolinas specifically was a little shaky, a lot shaky, considering a 36-foot 4 to 5 years as a move from our 2019. 2019. Awesome. 90. That, and Brock, my experience, this just shows you the difference between the types of boats that you're looking at is, with the deck boats and the pontoons and the bow riders, and even some of the center consoles. I don't deal anything with bass boats. Like my knowledge of the bass boat market is minimal, but that makes sense. If you look how the bass boat guys, they're either running to get somewhere, or they're on their trolling motor and they are turning off their main power. Want to get back to a fast bass boat again. Don't get me wrong, Ranger, but now she's got the easy riding boat. It's time. Oh shoot, what is it? Why am I blanking on it? Bass boats. Let's see. Why am I blanking on? Built. It's the super fast bass boat. They are Allison. Is it Allison? Yes, it's got to be. Yeah, there we go. So Allison bass boats. These bass boats are built 15 minutes, 20 minutes maybe from where we go in Knoxville to my in-laws' place on Lake Loudon, and the Allison hull is designed for speed. That it was. You'll see bass boats sport utility. So they've got some of their boats are tunnel. They had the tunnel hull. It doesn't look like they're making them right now. I don't know how long, but they were the fastest boat. Like they would run. In 1917, first Allison boat built, first outboard built by Paul Allison, first bass boat built by Darius Allison. And they have always been, speed has been the name of the game for them. But I go by, I don't know if it's where they build the boats. It's a small facility, but it's right on the water. So it maybe they've got another facility where they're actually building them. But they build I'm going to say a small number. I don't know that for a fact, but they do have some of the fastest hulls on the market from what I understand. If you want to check them out, let me know. I'll stop in there and talk to them if you want me to do a little digging for you. Design question: what new trends come over and take root from Europe? So anything that you see right now, anything that you see, Four Winds, Glastron, the Beneteau brands. I don't spell very well, but that'll get us there. Any of the Beneteau brands you'll see come over. It's I call it European lines just because that's what makes the most sense to me. I got my I don't know if my buddy's on or not, but I've got my buddy Dan calling me who he used to have what he called a magic pontoon. His dad Jack, who is an awesome guy, um, and he passed away a couple years ago now, but he had the magic pontoon boat, which meant that my buddy and his family would take it out, and he would tell his dad he's going out, and he would get back, tie it up in the dock, and his dad would be like, "Just leave it." He took care of it. He cleaned it. He fueled it back up for him, and dad called it the magic boat. So Dan, if you're on, we need to have beers soon, very soon. So the design questions that come from Europe, you can see it in almost all of the Beneteau brands that they're carrying them over. They're not super popular here. The American style of an open bow rider and a pontoon are very, very much American. The designs, the layout, like you talk to people in Australia, in Greece, some of the places where they're boating open ocean. South Africa, a lot of the places off Africa where there's not very protected, um, they are they're made fun of. Like, why would you? What are you going to do with that boat? You're going to kill yourself. Like that style just doesn't resonate with a lot of the country. Now, the U.S. and Canada, where we've got a lot of inland lakes, even either coastal, we've got the intercoastal waterway, we've got nice bays, and the center console style, which also isn't super popular overseas from what I know, and but some of the lines you're seeing it. You're seeing it in let's see, Exo boats. This style, which they call the kind of adventurer style, I think came from Europe. Um, let's see. Come on, give me a picture. So this hull design and this sort of um, opened, closed, almost a pilot house kind of look is I that is a European styling. Um, and it's that styling because they've got crappier, rainier weather, and they use their boats a little bit more utilitarian, and so this style has kind of coming over. You're seeing them, EXO. You're seeing why am I blanking on some of them? Venture. I don't even know if that's exactly what they call them, but um, yeah, it must be. No, not ribs. Nope. Axopar. Axopar is the one I was thinking of. So you can see they've got let me go smaller on me. You guys don't need to see my mug. There we go. That the Axopar, you can see they've got the bikes and the kayaks. And when I was talking to the guys at the Charlotte Boat Show that had Axopar, they were talking about, we can do this so you can go and be off the grid for weeks at a time. And that style came from Europe. But to be honest with you, the Beneteau brands are, I don't want to say struggling because I don't know if that's 100% true, but they haven't taken off. And I think just because the lines aren't what Americans are used to. And if you look, let's see. I mean, you can see it even there. The rake of the windshield, the shear line, um, that is pretty similar. That's pretty similar. The where are they must have a separate. Let me go to Four Winds. Oh, But if you look at the lines on some of these, those aren't it's not as dramatic. Um, but that look, the side walkthrough, that is not common in the US. That line isn't too as European. I think they've gone away from that styling a little bit when they redesign these, but that's where you'll see it. And the adventure style boats, I would say, are the most um, influence that are actually becoming fairly popular for that style of boating. So, all right, new comments. What's the life expectancy of a modern boat? The boat itself, like fiberglass hull, that's going to last 40 years. And it's just matter of fact, it's probably going to last longer than that. It's a big problem that we have in the industry is what do you do with the old boats? So the hulls are okay, but the designs are off and technology improves over time and the technology improves over time and so some of the hulls go obsolete outside of like the 90s model Mako hull is that's a very popular hull to redesign if the stringers are good and the transom is solid and it didn't have rot in it or you're going to redo all that. But a lot if you've got like my family's first boat, the I'll show you a picture of, I don't know if that picture will come through very good or not. But Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to find that. But the old tri-hull designs, like those hulls, they're still good if they didn't get water in them, but nobody wants them. They don't ride as well as the new, CAD technology and the new what hydrodynamics or whatever you would call it. So they they just kind of become obsolete over time, but they'll last fine. Now, the mechanical, the steering, the engines, the electronics, all of that stuff is, some of the electronics, 5 years. You're like, this is way out of date. The engines, those will run 1,500 hours. If you're commercial and they're run all the time and well maintained, you can get 5,000 hours out of them or something like that. Maybe more. The diesels, upwards of 20,000, but usually it's the mechanical stuff that's gonna hold you back over the whole design. So it's separate a little bit. I want to ride in one of the new Icon boats. I heard those. If you guys, uh, who is it? Um, why can't I think of his name? Um, YouTube channel out of Wisconsin does bass style boats. Andy from Team Marine. That's what I'm looking for. Andy from Team Marine has done a decent amount of videos on the Icon bass boat, and I think they're trying to get him to sell it. It was um, kind of my take on his interaction with them. But he's that's his market. Aluminum and bass boats fishing is his market, and he's way more knowledgeable than I am about that. And he's a technician too, so way more knowledgeable about the mechanical side of things. And he was really excited about these boats as well. I don't know enough about that boating style to really have an opinion one way or another. Um, Tournament bass fishing, also check out the Triton 20, supposed to be like the old, really fast, really stable. Alice, the gambler. That's what he won. Is no, that's what he had. He had a gambler and he won something else. That might have been what I rode an Allison and a gambler. They're fast. Front deck sucks for fishing. Narrow rod lockers will only fit. Yeah, trying to find. Hello, Elizabeth. How are you? Now I know that you and Dan are drinking together. Brett's probably there. These are friends of mine that last time I went out with them, drank too much and then did the live and they were on as well. So good to have them. Fast as hell. stable, not tournament friendly. Yeah, you got to keep up. You got to keep up the winning. Got to keep up the winning. I could go with the my hat's all sweat stained. I don't know if it comes through or not. And I like the visor when I'm out on the water. I still have a good amount of hair up top, and so I can go with the visor and not burn the top of my head. Thank you, Silver Stranger. Appreciate that. Always appreciate the likes. Happy Memorial Day, everybody. Brett, Liz, Lila, Henry, Dan, Jen, everybody out there, the kids. Skeeter makes a nice fast haul. Not only expensive, but I think the ride. Yeah, there are some of those older ones that there are some of those older ones that have great hull design, but not all of them. Not all of them for sure. No arms, no legs in front of your door. See, I don't know how much longer I'm going to talk. We'll see. We'll see how long people want to listen to me. I'm always shocked by how long people are listening to me when I do these. We did 2.5 hours the other day. Friend selling a 4 Winds. How much do you think he can get for it? 2007 4 Winds. I'll say just without doing any research at all, I'm going to say 15 to 17,000. But Liz, send me a text with what size engine he's got, and I'll let him know. I'll give him a reasonable number to start, and a reasonable number where if he starts getting offers in this range and he really wants to sell it, let him know. With your pro background, you are the right person to give us a review on the Icon A5 seaplane. It's been a long time since I've flown. Let's see. Icon A5 seaplane. So I do have my VFR, but I haven't flown in over a decade. But I wouldn't mind checking that out. That's kind of interesting. I had not seen that one before, Herb. And I'm in a bunch of pilot groups too. I'm surprised I haven't. Two-seater adventure flying. Huh, that's very interesting. I'm gonna have to dive a little. Oh, it folds up too. I thought that was a helicopter when I first looked at it, but it's got folding wings. Sea wings. Huh, that's really pretty cool. Wonder how much buy now. Demo, yeah, no price. Okay, now I got to set that one aside so I can dive deep on that at a later time. Love you too, Liz. We need to see each other soon. Thank you, Jen. See, I always like Jen. I got that, Dad. I got that. I'm looking to get a pontoon. Our local dealers in Southeast Washington have a Sun Chaser, Sun Tracker. What are your thoughts? So if Brian is on from West Virginia, he's got a Sun Tracker. The Sun Chaser. All right, so let's see. Sun Chaser and Sun Tracker are both, I'll say, entry level value boats. It depends on what type of water and how you're going to use it. The construction is not as stout and sturdy as most other pontoons, which means the cross members are a little bit further apart. And the material is a little bit scaled down to hit a price point. which is fine. If you're going to be comfortable with that and you're going to be happy with that, and you're not going out on, I always use the Lake of the Ozarks because I've been going there since I was 5 years old, or a big, Lake Norman around here on a busy Saturday. Um, that boat is gonna show some wear and tear because of that really, really rough conditions. But if you're going on a smaller lake that doesn't get super, super choppy, like the Branched Oak Lake where I grew up on, and worked at the marina when I was a kid, or you go out during the off time and you just are kind of cruising around, and you're not really gonna put the boat through the hammer, where the what happens when your braces are further apart, you get more flex and twist of the decking. Well, when you get flex and twist in the decking, 10 years later, the hatches and latches don't quite match up. The furniture starts coming loose because those screws have been too much pressure on them. And they'll lose value quicker over time because they're going to break down. With that said, you can go out and have a great time and have that boat for 20 years if you take good care of it and give your family a super enjoyable time. There is no, in my mind right now, there's no unsafe boats. There's no boats that I would say don't buy that under any circumstances. Um, but they're on the value side of things. Same thing with Sun Tracker. I would put Sun Tracker ahead of Sun Chaser in quality. And I've inspected both in person, so this is not just this is a guess, but they're the advantage that Sun Tracker has is scale. Sun Tracker has all of the Tracker brands, so they're buying engines from Mercury and Mercruiser at huge, huge volumes, which means they get price discounts. They're buying aluminum, they're buying upholstery fabric and foam and rotoclast mold, plastic seat bases at huge scale, bigger than most any other manufacturer in the market. And because of that, they can build their boats slightly cheaper. They also go direct to their retail point for the most part with Cabela's and with Bass Pro Shop, which means that you're almost buying, not quite, but you're almost buying factory direct. And they do their we'll call it no haggle price. This is the price. Like they sell everything at Bass Pro Shop. You want a shirt? It's $19.99. You want a fishing rod? It's $279. Boats. You want a 22-foot tri-tune with the 200? Well, it's $63,500 with the trailer. Everything you need out the door, taxes and registration. So I would put Sun Tracker ahead of them quality wise, but dealer wise, it's a crapshoot. You're working with a big box store. You're working with salespeople that are just a flat. You make 30 grand a year, whether you sell one or you sell 100. And because of that, they don't have the highest level. If you're a knowledgeable person, you likely can make money in other places in the industry. And so they typically don't have the best salespeople, knowledgeable people work in the showroom. And because they're a big box and they work on volume, they typically, not always, but typically don't have as good of technicians. Now, if you don't get all pissy at me, if you're a technician, you work at Cabela's or Bass Pro, there are some great ones. And they sell them via independent Tracker dealers too. I know several dealers that carry Tracker that are awesome dealers, outstanding dealers. So that's could be an opportunity depending on what market area you're in. So that would be my thoughts there. But when you look at the boat, they're not going to show anything on here, but just pinch the upholstery in your fingers and you can feel that the thickness of it. Look at the thickness of the seats. I doubt. So like if you look at right here, I don't know if you can see that very well, but the thickness of the padding of the seat, that is probably 1.5 to 2 inches thinner than the competition. If you compare that to the Sun Tracker, this is Sun Chaser. If you compare that to the Sun Tracker, I would venture to say Sun Tracker is slightly thicker, but not much. You may not even be noticeable unless you measured it. It may even be the exact same. But when you look at the material, when you look at the quality of construction, they call fit and finish, like look under the helm, how the wires are dressed back, open the seat bases and look how any cuts are made. The level of the hardware. Those are the kinds of things that they sell them cheaper. The only way they can sell them cheaper is if they use less material or they have cheaper labor costs. Well, Sun Tracker can have cheaper material and cheaper labor costs because of scale. Sun Chaser doesn't have that advantage. So the only way they can get their price down is by cutting the material costs, using less material, using lower quality material. But again, if you know what you're getting, it still has an Evinrude on the back or a Mercury or a Yamaha. All the Sun Trackers will have Mercury. Same as a Barletta, the best pontoon, in my opinion, on the market. So 50% of the cost of the boat is the exact same with that power plant on the back. So it's what you got to think of. Also, go check out my best and worst pontoon boat video right here. You can see it. That would be a good one for you to watch to understand the differences between the top level and the mid tier and the value, and then figure out where you fit into that. I've got an exercise in the toolkit called the boat selection tool that I ask you a bunch of questions, and those questions will lead you to what tier of a boat buyer are you. Liz, you're welcome. Of course. Just off the top of your head, price for an 07 Skeeter SL80 with the VMAX 150 Mincola Troll, not a clue. Corona Dental Arts. I don't, that bass boat market, I just don't have the experience. So if we do 2007, go to NADA Guides, 2007 Skeeter SL 180 bass boat. So one of the easy ways to do it, is just come here, see what they're on Boat Trader, throw out the ones that are way high, throw out the ones that are way low and have issues, and you'll find what you're looking for. So there's none of those on the market right now. So we'll go 06 to 2008. Still none. So a 2008 200 is 21.5. That's from a dealer. You can usually assume that the dealer is going to be pretty close on the market. 07 200 27.9 in Louisiana from the Boatyard. 07, here we go. 2008 180 12.9, so 13,000 from the Boatyard. I don't know anything about those guys. 07 200 38,000. So a lot of that's going to depend on what the electronics are. I mean, you can have a $10,000 swing based on the type of trolling motor, the type of fish finder, depth finders, multiple screens, all that stuff. Trailer, no trailer. Most of those are going to have trailer. An 08 190, 19,000. So that's, and then I would go to NADA Guides to look a little bit more. Terry and Jen Hill, I want to thank Jen for being patient with me. She invested in the best boat captain program. She sent me a super nice note, but she invested in that, and whatever reason, she lost access to it from, I think, last fall whenever she bought the boat. And she sent me a really nice note about it. I posted it on the YouTube channel. We have our new Sun Tracker 20-foot fishing barge, 90. Absolutely love it. We aren't speeding along, but the speed we do get enjoying. Got a chance to go in a cove, Tennessee River. Oh, you're okay. So, near New Johnsonville, Tennessee. If you, Terry and Jen, um, are you near Knoxville, near Lake Loudon, or no? Because we get up there a decent amount. And just people watch yesterday. We are new to boating, but learned from your program. We were floored how many boats were just driving dangerously. It is, Jen, that's how Terry or Jen, I'm not sure which one it is, but that's how we started the show, is with a video of people riding on the front bow, dangling their feet in the water. And learned a lot just by watching some of the crazies out there. Yeah, it is. And I hope Jen doesn't mind, but I'm going to show the message that she sent me the other day, or today actually, because community, here we go. Jen, I didn't share your email. I figure there's enough hills in the world that, so this is, I'm going to go big there. This is the note that she sent me. Thanks so much. Got back in now. Like I said, we had this problem. Also, thank you for this program. As newbies to boating, we were nervous to purchase a pontoon for our family because they're so big, and truth be told, not have been comfortable at all with the operation and safety of our family without having watched your program before ever going out of the water the very first time. Now we are comfortable maneuvering around as needed. We are safely operating it, can dock it in the slip and come back next weekend knowing it's tied down and correctly covered. So I really appreciate when I hear stuff like that. It's nice to know that my information is helping families really enjoy the water and also avoid, as Jen says, all the crazies out there. There's no reason to be crazy. You can have all sorts of fun, but if you know what you're doing, you can do it in an easy way. And so any help that people do, giving me messages like this that I can share, like, hey, this is real information. I'm a real guy, and it's easy to learn from, and it actually makes a difference. Is always appreciated. Like, shares, all that stuff helps get the message out so that we can eliminate some of those crazies. Please come over. Hey, I don't think we're doing anything tomorrow. So if we're invited tomorrow, I can come over then. Closest Icon dealer all the way out, Piedmont. Quite a drive. Plus the LVX series doesn't get released 2024. Yes, you gotta wait. Sometimes you gotta wait. Corona Dental Arts, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Okay, outside of Nashville. That is a little too far up the river for us to get to. But are there any tech companies offering LiDAR image data of entire lake bottoms for consumer boating? I do not know what LiDAR is. LiDAR scanners. High performance, core, challenging. So I don't know. Products, applications. Technology. I don't see marine listed anywhere. It's very difficult, even like Lowrance Hummingbird. They've got access to the scans and it's taken them a long time. The NOAA charts. The problem is the bottoms are ever changing. So even the NOAA charts, they say right on them that this chart is out of date and not accurate at the time of printing, which means a storm could have come and pushed this sandbar there. And now where it said you were deep enough, you're not, or where it said it wasn't deep enough, you are. Same thing can happen in the lakes, not as easily, but the lake levels themselves can change, can go up and down. So it's a challenge. And then there are so many different bodies of water and so much space. It's not like Google Maps sending a car out and you've taken all of the land and you've just cut it down into the roads, right? You do the interstates, you do the highways, and you do the main thoroughfares, and you've got 80% of the places people travel. I mean, you've cut the total number down. You're not going off the gravel roads. You're not going off the side roads till you get all those done. Then you can go do the finger roads and get them. Well, on the water, I can go this way, I can go that way. So now you've just got to do a back and forth, back and forth, back and forth to get the bottom. And it is challenging. That's why they're so expensive. That's why they charge the money they do. And with the upgrades and things like that, it's because they're updating that data and they're having to scan. Yeah, Salt Strong. I don't know these guys. I would like to. I need to reach out to them because I really like the way they do things. And if you are into fishing, I definitely recommend checking out their information. But they've got that's not what I wanted. They give resources, they sell tackle and bait and stuff, but they also have this club that you get all of the how-to stuff. But what they also have is let's see here. It's a membership, but you also get access to their charts. And their charts are designed for it's on an app. It's for their insider community. Podcast blog. I'm surprised. I don't know why I'm not seeing it on here. But when you start looking at their stuff, and I bought stuff from them just because I like what they do. I like their approach. But they've got maps of all of these different areas so that you can click, this is where I want to go. And they've got, they'll tell you what structures to look for. They teach you how to catch fish and how to catch big fish. So I definitely, if you're into fishing, especially in the coast, they're out of Florida. But they've got, I'll call them ambassadors. I don't know what they call them. They've got fishermen all over the country that they partner with for content. And they share that information in a pretty cool way. They do a really great job with their content. So anyway, Brock says Salt Straw Max are awesome, especially since you can report objects in real time. Bunch of inshore guides around. Use them. Maps have been getting that using that kind of that Waze format. Dan, I'll give you a call. That Waze format of user information so you can get real time. And now you're not having to scan every day. You got somebody reporting, hey, this marker was moved, or we've got something in the obstruction in the water in this area, or this is a great spot based on this structure that we found. Luke and Joe are great guys. Was down at their insider meetup group a few weeks ago. New area captains program they're rolling out for each area, going to be pretty sweet. Hey, Brock, I need to I would love to talk to you about them, and if you can make an introduction, that might be a cool thing. I don't know if you're looking at becoming one of those becoming one of their local people with their meetups, but I would definitely be interested in chatting with those guys. So all right, we are coming up on let's see, we're over an hour. If you went out over Memorial Day and you struggled with your boat handling, getting it back in the dock, getting it tied up, like Jen said, get the Best Boat Captain program. It's an awesome program. We've got a discount going on through the end of Memorial Day. So check that out. We have the single engine outboard, single engine stern drive. The pontoon version, the twin engine version is now live, and we'll be doing, well, that is not happening in May, obviously. I'm going to say June. Coming up in June of 2023. So this year I'm getting out and recording those as soon as I can, and the weather cooperating. If you're on the coast, Confident Coastal Boater. If you struggle at the boat ramp, Trailer Like a Pro and Tow Water Sports with Confidence. The ski and wakeboard, the easy way. I need to get up with Captain Sydney to get those done. You can see all the 5-star reviews on Google. We had Jen on here earlier, and Terry, and they all come with my Happy Boater 100% money back guarantee. So if for whatever reason you're not happy, if you just want to take advantage of me and get it for free, that's fine. I'll delete. I do delete you from the system if you refund. But unless you tell me why, and it's hey, I did something wrong. That's how we improve the programs. But it just, if you ask for a refund, you get it. I don't mess around with any of that hassle. If you're buying a boat, Boat Buyer Academy is a great program. You can check that out. And I appreciate the support. Appreciate you guys tuning in. And okay, yeah. So if you know them, been an insider member with them, that would be, if you wouldn't mind connecting us in some way, that would be much appreciated. All right, thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. If you do head out tomorrow, be safe. Watch out, as Terry and Jen said. Watch out for all the crazies out there. They're out there. Know how to operate your boat. Assume the other guy's going to do something ridiculous, and just stay clear, stay aware, stay vigilant, and have a fun time on the water. And we will see you all next Sunday. Take care, everybody. Happy Memorial Day.